Blake Lively is on the path to exposing a lot of evil secrets, but what about her own? Let's get into her recent lawsuit and dig into some shady secrets she's been trying to hide. There has been a lot of drama focused around Blake and Justin and their recently released movie, It Ends With Us. Blake has recently sued her co-star and director of the film for harassment just days before Christmas. The Gossip Girl alum alleged in the documents that Baldoni created a toxic environment on set. She additionally claimed Baldoni had shown her nude images and videos of women and also talked to her about his alleged previous inappropriate video addiction. Justin's legal team have since denied the allegations and claimed the lawsuit was an attempt to salvage her reputation, which suffered during press for the movie. Fans have since reacted to the lawsuit, with some siding with Lively and others coming to Baldoni's defense. On X, formerly known as Twitter, one person said, "Blake Lively trying to accuse Justin Baldoni and his team of inciting a smear campaign when this was her behavior. Why not take accountability?" The social media user attached a short clip of a past interview that showed her being rude to a reporter. Another wrote, "Blake Lively ruined her reputation with that movie and I don't owe her an apology." Another person wrote, "I don't buy this Blake Lively is suddenly a victim lawsuit. Even the wording of the suit is very slippery and odd. I don't really see anything worth suing over. She's just trying to do damage control." Another user actually said Blake Lively was promoting that film as a chick flick, flowery dress, downplaying DV, using the promo to launch alcohol and her hair company. Her tone deafness is what rubs people the wrong way. Another user said, "Well, Blake Lively is now suing Justin Baldoni. I guess the best way to rehab your image when the public blasts your bad behavior is to then sue for severe emotional distress." Blake Lively didn't even care about this film. She saw an opportunity to capitalize on her brand and failed, and now she's mad. Another person actually said Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are billionaires. If she was being harassed, why didn't she stop filming the movie? Justin hasn't since insisted that the legal action is an attempt by Blake to fix her negative reputation, after several rumors have emerged of diva-like behavior on set. It is alleged that Blake, on several occasions, threatened to not show up to set or to not promote the film in any way. Another issue is that when Blake did promote it, she marketed it with an upbeat tone, and Justin just felt like it should be more focused on the aspect. This caused her to be blasted with criticism, saying she was tone deaf and shallow. But this isn't the first time Blake has been under fire for exuding questionable behavior. The rumored feud between Leighton Meester and Blake Lively has been a topic of interest for years, especially among Gossip Girl fans. According to the show's executive producer, the two actresses were friendly, but they were not friends, which is a contrast with their on-screen characters, Serena and Blair, who were complex friends with a deep history. Reports suggest that Meester and Lively had different personalities, which might have contributed to the perceived distance between them. Some sources claim that the feud was more serious, with both of them allegedly avoiding each other like the plague on set. It's even rumored Blake was envious of Leighton and would make awkward comments in interviews, and even when they would see each other at events, they wouldn't even say hi or bye to each other. And in the wake of all the recent drama going on with Lively and Baldoni, users took to social media to share their thoughts, with one person saying, "Watching all the Blake Lively drama while promoting It Ends With Us makes me feel like we all need to apologize to Leighton Meester. Why is everyone acting like Leighton Meester didn't tell us about Blake Lively years ago?" Another user actually went on to say, "Blake Lively acts like she's better than everyone. She's not even a great actress. A side character on her show Gossip Girl actually outshined her." With another person saying as well, "The real ones know Blake Lively has always been unlikable, which is why she wasn't friends with Leighton Meester, who's the angel on earth." And one user described watching Blake Lively's decline as delicious, with Leighton Meester getting her well-deserved comeback being the cherry on top. A lot of people have even said that it's not fair the amount of popularity Lively has over Meester, and that Meester is far more deserving of professional success, with one person even saying, "My Friday morning TED Talk is that Leighton Meester should be the more famous one because she is a far better actress than Blake Lively, which with much better comedic skills and timing." It's funny how everyone says Leighton Meester deserved Blake Lively's success because Blake's acting career is honestly nothing to write home home about. Even to this day, they actually don't follow each other on Instagram. So I would say it's pretty safe to say that these rumors are true, and fans are dying to know Meester's take on everything that's unraveling right now. Do you think she'll comment, or just stay as unproblematic as possible and watch it all unfold in silence, basically? Let me know. Now, Justin Baldoni has promoted their movie It Ends With Us in a tone that really talks about DV and sheds some light on victims while also telling men to take accountability. So instead of highlighting the effects of abuse and how it affects the person, or resources on how to get out of a DV situation safely, or even simply spreading some more awareness on a very real and serious topic that so many women go through, she has made it all about her. One social media user said Blake is using this movie to promote her hair care line, and her husband is using it to promote Deadpool 3. Both are tacky and distasteful. Another person agreed with that, saying, I think it's disgustingly tacky to take something as serious as DV and use it to promote your hair products. This isn't some cute rom-com, it's a movie about DV. Now keep in mind, it's also noted that she took all of these opportunities to also promote her beverage brands, Betty Buzz and Betty Booze. Blake actually posted pictures from a flower-themed party by her company, and the caption tagged the two beverage brands. A picture in the exact same post portrayed a flower shop, which is a reference to her character in the film, and the shop's name was titled as Betty Blooms, once again referring to her beverage brands. It was even reported that a promotional email was sent out on how to make It Ends With Us inspired cocktails using Betty Buzz. Now, despite all of these clear marketing strategies and controversies surrounding Blake and her recently filed lawsuit, Blake does have some support from her Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants co-stars. If you remember them, America Ferrera, Amber Tamlin, and Alexis Bledel, they actually all released a joint statement to defend her, which basically said, as Blake friends and sisters for over 20 years, we stand with her in solidarity as she fights back against the reported campaign waged to destroy her reputation. Throughout the filming of It Ends With Us, we saw her summon the courage to ask for a safe workplace for herself and colleagues on set, and we are appalled to read the evidence of a premeditated and vindictive effort that ensued to discredit her voice. We are struck by the reality that even if a woman is as strong, celebrated, and resourced as our friend Blake, she can face forceful retaliation for daring to ask for a safe working environment. Will even more secrets come out and be exposed? What do you guys think?
Could you imagine your own wife possibly being a part of an alleged illicit crime ring? Ben Affleck apparently can, because supposedly he has been given tapes that have Jennifer Lopez herself in them when the police raided Sean Combs' home earlier this year. If you are new to this channel and have not been keeping up with the celebrity gossip, y'all better strap in, because it gets messy. A quick rundown of why these tapes are so important and why Lopez may be facing some serious charges. As of this year, Sean Combs is held at the Metropolitan Detention Center for quite the list of crimes. These include trafficking, racketeering, and illicit intimate relations that all supposedly happened during his Diddy parties, to which these portions of the parties were called freak-offs. The Diddy parties were an iconic event to be a part of, which were hosted over a span of literal decades, from the 90s all the way to 2020. They were originally labeled as white parties, where people would follow a strict dress code of wearing all white, to which these ended around 2006. However, much more apparently went down at these parties, to which a photographer who worked with Diddy for 20 years named Fonseca stated she hadn't seen anything out of the ordinary when it came to the outside section of the party. But only specific people were allowed inside of the house. Who these people were, however, are still unknown, and she definitely wasn't one of them. She recalls a moment during one of his parties where Sean Combs was supposedly with a girl she had never seen before, and so, as she was hired to do, decided to take a photo of the two of them together. Sean Combs noticed this, however, and told his bodyguard to get her camera. Fonseca was surprised by this because in the entirety of those 2 decades she worked for him, never once did he ask for her camera. When she finally got it back, she noted how no photos were deleted, which was probably a smart move considering how many flags that would have raised. When Sean Combs' house was raided, there were a few notable things they discovered, such as narcotics, 1,000 bottles of oil, and alleged tapes hidden away. These supposed tapes apparently have information about what actually went down during these freak-offs, and that's where Jennifer Lopez comes in. Apparently the tapes that Ben Affleck was given after the raid of Diddy's home contain her being a part of the incident that happened in a nightclub back in 1999. Apparently, musician Moses Shine Barrow took the fall for Diddy during an intense scene that was going down, but JLo had lied, saying that Barrow was the one that started the incident in the first place, and that inevitably ruined his career by sending him to prison. Affleck even makes the comment of, they go raid Puffy's house, and they get all these videos of JLo doing this and JLo doing that. You're just gonna keep us in the dark like that, Ben? Come on, details, details! These tapes are apparently the reason for the strain on their relationship, and mayhaps might just be the reason for their divorce. A former CEO of Death Row Records states this, I'm quite sure they, FBI, probably called. It's a white man who got respect in the white world. I'm quite sure they said, we want to show you some things about your wife. Lopez and Diddy's relationship was a quick one, lasting only for about 2 years from 1999 to 2001, which was eerily around the time all these allegations had taken place. Diddy even tried to get back with her at one point too. I mean, yeah, it's frickin' Jennifer Lopez in the 90s, I would too. It's been reported that since then, Affleck has moved out of their $60 million home in Beverly Hills, and supposedly they're trying to keep it on the down low about them selling it too. The former CEO claims he is not surprised that Ben Affleck wants out ASAP after this. It's been no shock that Jennifer has been really stirring the pot when it came to her own publicity over the past year. From spitting gum in an assistant's hand to getting an employee at a hotel fired for a simple autograph. From what we know about Ben, his slate has been cleaner than hers. At least that's what the former CEO says. He ain't tripping off paparazzi. He's living his life. He got his own team. She done brought all that extra stuff out, and now that man, he won out. I don't blame him. He's got his own image to look out for too in this industry. And he has. And he's been working towards recovery with his own demons. But Lopez apparently didn't think that one through towards the end of last year. Supposedly, she was extremely insensitive to his problems when she made a launch for her own adult drink brand DeLola, when she had just recently walked down the aisle with Affleck. Lopez apparently doesn't even drink herself to help preserve her skin, which was confirmed to in style. Lopez was quick to backpedal though and say she only drinks for special occasions, since there are photos of her with a cocktail in her hand. Quoted herself, I know that a lot of people have been talking about, oh, she doesn't even drink, what's she doing with a cocktail out? And to tell you the truth, that was true for a long time. I didn't drink. A few years back, as you will see from several photos of me over the past 10, maybe 15 years, I have been having the occasional cocktail. And yet still hasn't addressed the tone-deaf launch when it came to her now ex-husband, just made it about her. She's supposedly trying to regain her image after this mess unfolded, especially after one of her recent tours. This Is Me Now, completely tanked in ticket sales. A source told the Daily Mail she is focused on her own work and wants 2025 to be the year she gets back to being herself. She isn't actively looking to date right now and is still processing losing Ben again. She, like most people, would love to have love in her life again. If something presents itself, then obviously life and love find a way. But she isn't looking to get into any new relationships. I'm curious to see what 2025 brings for our diva, and maybe, hopefully, we'll get a new change from her for the better. Aside from the Diddy case, something else has been supposedly exposed about our diva this year. I've talked about it before in another video on Inform Overload, but for those of you watching for the first time, there's a rumor going around that Jenny from the block has never stepped foot onto a block in her life. Well, an H&R block maybe. Jennifer is being slammed for supposedly lying about her own empire that she built. Lopez really milked, and still does, her past history about growing up in the Bronx, and how times were extremely tough for her as a child. Which, before, rags to riches stories were a huge cash grab, because everyone wanted that opportunity to happen in their life. Now, I'm still waiting for mine. A few parts of her upcoming documentary, The Greatest Love Story Ever Told, which delves into the life of her and Ben throughout these 20 years. Yikes. After with what we know now, shines a little light in her past. And the specific video that has been speculating around the internet is the one where she is in front of a mirror playing with her hair. It reminds me like when I was 16 in the Bronx, running up and down the block. Crazy little girl who used to F and be wild and no limits. all dreams. Yeah, this did not end well on social media and sparked a huge backlash on her image. A TikToker by the name of Celebs calls her out. "We weren't running up and down the block like that, even as a kid." What block were you running up and down on? Do you have any footage of this? Pictures of you being in the Bronx? Being a normal child? Of course, things might have changed in the last few decades with people choosing to stay inside more, technology advancements, rise in crime. Yeah, I wouldn't be running up and down a block either anymore. However, another TikToker, Pictures by Angela, whose video has now since been removed, I believe, has exposed Jenny from the Block to have attended a private high school, specifically the Preston High. I saw your high school photo. You did not have hair like that. We also both attended an all-girls Catholic high school in an Irish and Italian neighborhood, so you weren't running up and down the block, she states. To remind you those who have returned for more Jenny videos, this school's tuition per year, as of today, is $12,395, and this doesn't include the general fee, senior luncheon, graduation fee. A user by the name of Carenza even commented, "I can't explain it, but every time JLo pops up and she's talking about the Bronx, she gives me Michael Scott vibes, and now I can't unsee it." That's not a good character to be compared with either. Let's see if she really chooses to keep her word in the following year. "I'm all about people changing for the better, but fool me 5, 10, 16 times, shame on me. Your image is everything in the A-list world. And man, has it become distorted for you, Lopez."
Now, first off, we have the fact that she's protecting her husband and not speaking out. Jay-Z was just named in a lawsuit with Diddy, and it does not look good for him. Since he and Beyonce are together, it also reflects poorly on her. Now, you don't know what I'm talking about? Well, we have to go back to October to get the full story. Now, an anonymous accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, said an incident happened after she was driven to an MTV Video Music Awards after party. Now, a federal lawsuit was originally filed in October in the Southern District of New York, listing Diddy as a defendant. What we knew at the time was at the after party, the victim was mistreated by Diddy, while another male celebrity and female celebrity, neither of whom were named in the lawsuit, watched until she was able to escape. Now, this case was refiled on Sunday, December 8th, and it included Jay-Z, aka Sean Carter, in it. It turns out that he was the male celebrity described in the suit. Now, we still don't know who the female celebrity was, but there is speculation that it was either Beyonce or J-Lo. Now, Texas-based attorney Tony Busby filed the suit, and the lawsuit says that a friend dropped off Jane Doe at the VMAs at the Radio City Music Hall. Now, she did not have a ticket, and she approached various limousine drivers to try to gain access to the show or even just an after party. One driver, the lawsuit says, told her that he worked for Diddy and that she fit what Diddy was looking for. Now, he invited her to a party after the show and told her to return to his car later in the evening after he transported Diddy and Jay-Z. Later, the driver picked her up, and after 20 minutes they arrived at a white house with a U-shaped driveway. She then had to sign a document she believed was a non-disclosure agreement on arrival, and she did not receive a copy, but she had to do this to enter the party, which the suit says was filled with celebrities. She was then offered a drink that made her feel woozy, lightheaded, and felt like she needed to lie down, so she went into a room to rest. Shortly afterwards, the suit says Diddy and Jay-Z entered the room, with Diddy saying, "You are ready to party." That's when she alleges she was taken advantage of by both men while an unnamed female celebrity just watched. After the alleged incident, the suit says she grabbed her clothes and left. She made her way to a gas station where she called her father. Now, the accuser is seeking unspecified damages, and all I gotta say about all this is that it's just absolutely disgusting. Now, Jay-Z though is furious with this and that it has become public. According to the lawsuit, her attorneys reached out to Jay-Z to request a mediation to resolve this matter. In a statement, Jay-Z called the mediation request a blackmail attempt, and he also said the lawyer, who I have done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these types of theatrics. Now, in a statement from Tony Busby on Saturday, he wrote, "The pleading speaks for itself. This is a very serious matter that will be litigated in court." Now, after this, Jay-Z filed his own lawsuit against the accuser's attorney. attorneys. He filed a motion in New York City on December 9th, requesting that the accuser reveal her name instead of filing anonymously as Jane Doe. His lawyer, Alex Spiro, stated that Jay-Z is respectfully seeking either dismissal of the allegations or disclosure of the plaintiff's identity. Fair is fair, Alex wrote in the motion. It's not consistent with justice, fairness, or the rules governing federal proceedings for the plaintiff and her counsel to smear Jay-Z's good name. Now, the document also noted that Jay-Z has built an impeccable reputation, adding he's never been accused of, let alone engaged in, any misconduct. Now, it's just disgusting that he wants her name to be revealed to the world, as we know that his fans will go after this poor woman and make her life even worse. But what does Beyonce think about all of this? Well, she hasn't said a thing. In fact, it appears that she's been supporting him. 2 days after Jay-Z was exposed in the lawsuit, Jay attended the premiere of a movie with Beyonce, where their daughter Blue Ivy voiced one of the characters. It was the first time Jay-Z had been spotted in public since the accusations, and sources with direct knowledge told the Post that before the allegations, it was rumored that Jay-Z and Beyonce were not planning to attend the premiere. However, they appear to have a change of heart after the lawsuit. Now, she's helping him do damage control, and it's just gross. I mean, as a woman and just as a decent human being, why would you support him like that? If anything, just Beyonce and her daughter should have gone to the premiere and left Jay-Z at home, as they knew the attention would be on him. Now, this whole situation is just so gross and horrible, and not to mention Jay-Z has admitted to cheating on Beyonce. Now, the fact that she stayed with a cheater is shocking, but now she's defending him after everything he's done. I mean, at this point, just throw the whole family away. Now, besides defending her husband, Beyonce has been in quite a few scandals herself. People are claiming that Diddy helped Beyonce and Jay-Z get rid of their competition. For years, Diddy has been accused of causing the passings of Tupac Shakur, the Notorious B.I.G., Michael Jackson, and others. But now people think that Beyonce and Jay were in on it too. Rising star Aaliyah passed away on August 25th, 2001 after her private jet crashed in the Bahamas just minutes after takeoff. Now, she was only 22 years old when she passed away and was considered a promising star that would definitely overshadow Beyonce, so some claim Beyonce got Diddy to help get rid of her. Now, at the time of her passing, people were suspicious as no one on board her plane managed to survive. Leslie Lopez, known as Left Eye, was another American artist who passed away suddenly on April 25th, 2002 after a car accident. Now, people have also brought up Michael Jackson, as his security guard apparently used to work for Diddy. People are now saying that Beyonce and Diddy had something to do with all of this. Now, J. Cole lists all these celebrities that passed away in his song She Knows, which some people say sounds like Beyonce's last name, Knowles. Now, is it just a coincidence or what? Now, people have done even more digging though and discovered that all the victims, Michael, Aaliyah, and Left Eye, all passed away on the 25th of a month, and that Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Diddy were all born on the 4th of a month. Now, could this mean something? Maybe, maybe not, but it's something to point out. Fans have also brought up the fact that when a lot of people in Hollywood win major awards against Beyonce, they always have to thank her or mention her in some way, and if they don't, they have an untimely passing or an accident. Now, is it crazy to think that Beyonce had Diddy do all of this? One wild theory even involves Kanye West's famous interruption of Taylor Swift at the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards. During Taylor's speech, Kanye said Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. Now, some fans are suggesting that this moment was an attempt by Kanye to protect Taylor. Yeah, it's insane, but some people are starting to believe it and are turning on Beyonce. Now, the internet is always full of strange rumors, but this one is picking up steam, and it will need to be shut down soon before it spreads more and more. And let me tell you, it's spreading like a wildfire all over TikTok. Now, some people have turned it into a joke, which I completely understand, but could there be some truth to it? It sure does seem like it. Not to mention, there's always been rumors that Beyonce and Jay-Z are a part of a secret society. So, believe what you want.
So in the year 2020, at the time, current and former staffers began airing claims that Ellen had mistreated employees and fostered a toxic work environment on her very popular daytime show. And then celebrities started sharing their own stories about the comedian. So stars like Brad Garrett and Leah Thompson expressed some very negative sentiments towards Ellen, claiming her nice persona was a facade. And we'll get into that in a moment. While others, including Scooter Braun and Katy Perry, defended the star. And honestly, hindsight's 2020, Scooter Braun defending somebody is a bit of a red flag in my opinion. So let's dive into things. Starting with Brad Garrett, the Everybody Loves Raymond star. He called out the comedian via Twitter on July 31st of the same year, and he appeared on Ellen's show multiple times, so I think he's got a good grasp of things. So he shared the Variety article about the comedian. The one with the letter that was apologizing to staffers who felt disrespected, because in that letter, Ellen said that she hadn't been able to closely manage the show as it grew in recent years, and then Brad Garrett said, sorry, but it comes from the top, and tagged Ellen directly. He continued on to say that he knew more than one person who was treated horribly by Ellen, adding that her behavior was common knowledge. Oof. Let's go over to Leah Thompson, the Back to the Future star. So she added on to that message. She said that Ellen's mistreatment of others was common knowledge. She said this in a reply to People's Report about Brad's comment and said, true story, it is. She didn't elaborate and she didn't need to. Let's see, who else has something to say? Oh, when Mariah Carey appeared on The Ellen Show in 2008, Ellen was pushing her to announce her pregnancy. Now, Mariah said quietly that she didn't want to discuss that on television, and I respect that. So then Ellen asked her to toast with something instead. So Ellen asked her to toast instead, effectively forcing her to admit whether or not she was carrying, since if you're carrying, you're kind of advised against imbibing. And Mariah said, I can't believe you did this to me, Ellen. And then Ellen was like, well, let's toast to you not being pregnant, if you're not pregnant. Newsflash, folks, Mariah Carey sadly miscarried shortly after the interview. Now, a stylist from New York has outed her worst celebrity experience in a series of TikTok videos, and originally it had me wondering who an evil chick was. So the stylist's name is Tahira, and she discussed her experiences with famous people. Some were positive, others were extremely negative. She said in 2016, Pitch Perfect actress Anna Kendrick stopped by her store to prepare for a book signing. And according to the stylist, Anna Kendrick said that she would only wear their clothes for 10 grand. So the stylist said she wouldn't speak to me, which is strike one. She wouldn't say anything. Anna then gave a look to her PR lady, who took the stylist outside and repeated, if you guys want her to wear a look, it is 10 grand. Okay, folks, so if you don't know how Hollywood works, typically stylists give celebrities free outfits to wear in exchange for their promo of the outfit on social media, and obviously at the event. Sometimes stylists will even allow the celebrity to keep the style for free. But like, would you spend 10K just to have a celebrity wear one of your outfits to a book signing? Like, what outfit is even worth that much? So going back to the stylist, she revealed in a second TikTok video that she actually ran into Anna while working at Barney's department store years later, and she asked her colleague to work with her instead because she didn't want to deal with the attitude. And then, apparently after the colleague helped Anna, the colleague came back over and was like, do you have any idea who that is? And she's like, oh yeah, she's an actress. And the colleague was like, yeah, I have no idea who she is, but she just got so nasty with me. And it's like, girl, I get it, you're talented, but that's no reason to be rude to people. I'm sorry to break it to everybody, but I've heard nothing but bad things from anybody who's ever met Bill Nye. I know he's a hero to a lot of you, and it breaks my heart to say, but apparently it's a Hollywood open secret that the man is a total jerk. So when I was scouring Reddit for tea for today, user Braves Girl said they had a friend who apparently they were at some art show and Bill Nye was there, and it was an art show for like a younger demographic, and Bill was making fun of the artwork in front of the artists. And they said, and I quote, what a jerk. User K80bot said that Bill Nye was a guest judge on a reality show that they were on back in 2014. He was a jerk and made some very comments to them about their engineering skills, which like, ew, gross. They said both of those were two of the most arrogant people they'd ever encountered. The actual astronauts, on the other hand, were as down to earth as could be, which great for them, but also just like, Bill Nye, really? That's just so sad. So James Corden saw his career skyrocket when he brought the world carpool karaoke while hosting The Late Late Show, only for the public to turn on the talk show host, leading to a lot of folks to wonder, okay, what was going on? Why does everybody hate James Corden? There's a lot of stories that exist that call into question his off-camera personal conduct, which has been sadly widely documented by the media. Also, are we all forgetting the infamous and very uncomfortable encounter with Patrick Stewart at the 2010 Glamour Awards, where Sir Patrick Stewart told James Corden off for looking like he would rather be anywhere else? Also, it doesn't help that James Corden's performance in The Prom as a queer character was seen as very stereotypical and offensive, and his Golden Globe nomination for the role only heightened the outrage. And by the way, James Corden has been the recipient of criticism not just from folks like us, folks at home, but from a lot of significant industry workers, other than Sir Patrick Stewart. British TV director Craig Duncan worked with James Corden on the British game show The League of Their Own, where the host was ultimately telling the director how to direct, which, like, you don't do that, you don't do that. When speaking with the crew about how to capture the scene, James Corden apparently intervened, yelling, "What the F is going on here? It's obvious what you do. It's so obvious how you get it. It's stupid. Dude, that is not the move." This happened after the director had already observed James Corden ridiculing and embarrassing a writer. Which, by the way, James Corden was also reportedly very rude to the staff of quite a few of the projects he was involved in. So, when asked by Jimmy Fallon to name 2 members of his Late Late Show crew in the Spill Your Guts segment that he did once, he couldn't do it. He opted to drink a fish smoothie instead. Which, like, sir, you can't name 2 people on your crew? Come on. Famed restaurateur Keith McNally, who owns the Manhattan French place Balthazar, you know, the big restaurant, banned James Corden from his place in 2022 because McNally claimed the host was rude to the waiting staff on not 1 but 2 separate occasions. Apparently, James Corden demanded all these freebies and he threatened to post bad reviews, and it was just really icky. During an interview with comedian Theo Vaughn, Roseanne Barr once said, "Nobody passed away in the mass extinction event of the 1930s and 40s. That's the truth." And hey, as if casual major world event denial wasn't horrific enough for her, she immediately escalated her rhetoric, saying, "It should happen. People should pass away right now, because they cause all the problems in the world. But it never happened." I'm sorry, that statement made my jaw hit the floor. She, once upon a time, decided to do this really gosh-awful interpretation of the national anthem. She got kicked off of the reboot of her own sitcom with a very awful tweet about former White House advisor Valerie Jarrett. She championed problematic conspiracy theories during the crazy world events a couple years back, and I think that's everything I can say without getting thrown off the internet, because it only gets worse from there, folks.
Oprah Winfrey has not been in the public's good graces recently, as she's been exposed for taking weight loss medication and caring more about herself than others. Now, starting off, we have her school. The Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls opened in Johannesburg in 2007. Now, this was one of Oprah's passion projects. She founded it with $40 million of her own money, and she even hand-selected the 152 students who attended. Everything seemed perfect until it wasn't. Oprah seemed to handpick the students, but it turns out she didn't do a good enough job when it came to hiring the staff. Less than a year after the school had opened, 6 students came forward to accuse dorm matron Virginia Tani Mekagobo of mistreating them. Virginia pleaded not guilty, and her trial was ongoing. She was arrested in November 2007 and released on bail, and she faced 17 different charges. "It has shaken me to my core," Oprah said, of returning to South Africa with a team of private detectives to investigate the allegations and personally speak with the girls. "This has been one of the most devastating, if not the most devastating, experiences of my life," she said. Now, in the end, Oprah fired all the matrons no matter what. Now, following the first trial, Oprah was sued by the headmistress of the school for defamation. She alleged that Oprah defamed her by implying that she was covering up the mistreatment going on at the school. However, this case was later settled outside of court before the arranged trial, according to CNN. Now, that's not all that happened there though. Speculation of numerous missing girls from the academy spread like wildfire across social media, and then in March of 2007, some parents complained because they were only allowed to visit their children once a month, and the girls were only allowed to use their cell phones on the weekends. One parent said, "It's a nightmare. We had only 2 hours to see my child. Surely this isn't a prison or an institution." Another mother said her homesick daughter was very upset over the rules. "Michelle phones me in tears sometimes, and then I don't know what to say to her," she said. "The school is currently still running, but I hope the girls are being treated better than they were before." Now, Oprah has always been made fun of for her weight, which is honestly just a shame. It was public sport to make fun of me for 25 years. I have been blamed and shamed, and I blamed and shamed myself, she said. Now, one hurtful moment early in her career was when she landed on fashion critic Mr. Blackwell's list. I was on the cover of some magazine and it said dumpy, frumpy, and downright lumpy, she said. I didn't feel angry, I felt sad, I felt hurt, I swallowed the shame, I accepted that it was my fault, she said. Now, one controversial moment regarding her weight loss was in 1988 when she unveiled her new slim figure by taking off an oversized coat and wheeling out a wagon holding 67 pounds of animal fat, the amount she had lost in less than 5 months. Now, the episode drew huge attention, earning the highest ratings in the show's history. However, years later, Oprah expressed regret about it, stating that it was simply an ego trip and admitting that she eventually regained all the weight back. Then there's the fact for the past 10 years, Oprah has worked with Weight Watchers, a diet program that was all the craze. Although it has been criticized by a lot of people as being harmful and promoting disordered eating. With some people not liking her promoting this, she then came out in 2023 saying that she was using an unnamed weight loss medication, and that's how she was able to lose a lot of weight. So it wasn't the Weight Watchers, which made a lot of people feel lied to. Then in 2024, she decided to step down and stop working with Weight Watchers altogether. Many people are saying that she's a sellout and that everything she's ever stood for was a lie. And hey, I can't blame people for being upset over this. It's very likely that she's taking Ozempic or something Ozempic adjacent, which is actually a medication for people who are diabetics. A lot of normal everyday people can't afford to take this medication, and they also don't want to take it from people who really need it, aka diabetics. Now, I understand why people are so upset about this, as Oprah claimed for years that a specific weight loss program was working for her, she's lost a bunch of weight, and then she reveals it was all due to medication. I'm glad she's happy with her body, but it now feels like she tricked a lot of people into believing something that will never come true, and it's just scummy. Then there was her whole Maui fund. In August 2023, a series of wildfires broke out in Hawaii, predominantly on the island of Maui. The wind-driven fires prompted evacuations and caused widespread damage, ending the lives of at least 102 people and leaving 2 people missing. Now, after this happened, Oprah and The Rock came together to create their own fund to help victims, called People's Fund of Maui. It was to distribute cash directly to people who were affected by the wildfires on the Hawaiian island. Now, the 2 celebrities contributed an initial payment of $10 million to the fund and invited the public to contribute their own donations for the rest of it. Now, after it was launched, people started questioning why the celebs were asking everyday people to donate instead of their celebrity friends, or even them just funding it themselves. I mean, Oprah's net worth at the time was $2.5 billion. Yes, billion with a B. She could have given away so much of her own money, but she decided to ask others for help. Now, people started calling them out on social media, and instead of taking this critique, Oprah hit back and made things worse. All the online conversations being slammed, lies, conspiracy theories really took the focus off of what was the most important thing, and that was the people of Maui, she said on a CBS Mornings appearance. I was on the ground talking to lots of people, trying to figure out how do I best help. Now, the 2 celebrities thought about how they have both given to charity their whole lives and felt like starting with $10 million worked because it was enough to kick things off before opening the Maui Wildfires Fund up to people who wanted to help but didn't know how to. I was so excited about it. Then I got up the next morning and saw all this vitriol, and I was like, whoa, what happened here, she said. But yeah, people were angry, which again, I honestly don't blame them for. One person on TikTok called their video tone deaf, while another said, we can't afford it, but you can. And Oprah has also been called out recently for how she's treated her guests on her show, and one that stands out a lot is Michael Jackson. According to Oprah's website, 90 million people watched her February 1993 live primetime interview with Michael Jackson. It was his first interview in 14 years, and he used the opportunity to dispel rumors and explain the changes in his lifestyle and appearance. Michael said that his noticeable and gradually lightening skin wasn't the result of cosmetic and elective skin bleaching, but the effect of a genetic skin disease called vitiligo. Now, he also opened up about the mistreatment he suffered as a child at the hands of his father and former manager Joe Jackson, but one thing Michael refused to discuss with Oprah was his love life. He claimed to be dating Brooke Shields, and Oprah flat out asked him some very personal questions. I'm a gentleman, that's something that's private, he said. You can call me old-fashioned if you want, but to me that's very personal. Oprah then sensationalized a legal proceeding that Michael was going through, and his brother Randy Jackson came out and claimed that Oprah was airing episodes related to his brother's trial in 2005 to make him look bad in the public eye. Randy said that he believed that Oprah wanted to see Michael in jail, and apparently when Michael saw this, it was the last straw. It was then made clear that she could not and would not be trusted again. But after Michael passed away, Oprah was given access to Michael's former home after being granted an interview with his mother Catherine and his 3 children. Many people in the Jackson family were aware of Michael's distrust in Oprah, and they didn't want this interview to happen, and they especially disapproved of Oprah being allowed to film inside his home and conduct his kids' first interview ever, as Michael didn't like them being in the public eye. A source said Janet Jackson is furious. She thinks Oprah took advantage of Michael's children for TV ratings. Janet told her Michael would be heartsick that Oprah used his kids as pawns, they said to the National Enquirer at the time. The 2 women had a blistering blow-up during a telephone call on the day that the show was taped. When Oprah made it clear that she was going ahead with the interview, Janet screamed, "Oprah, you make me sick." Now, other family members of Michael have spoken out about their disdain for Oprah, and it seemed like Oprah was just trying to be an opportunist and didn't really care about anyone's feelings.
Will Smith is an interesting person to say the least, and over the last couple years, he's been in controversy after controversy. He's being tied to disgraced music mogul Diddy, and that is not a good thing. Will Smith has been caught up in the mess thanks to Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal. A little while ago, it was claimed that a tape of a freak-off involving Diddy and an A-list male celebrity was making the rounds in the market. It was also revealed that not only one, but multiple people are selling the tape, and that the faces of both Diddy and the mysterious man can be seen on it. Now, Gene Deal believes that the other guy could be Will Smith. Deal appeared for an interview with The Art of Dialogue and opened up about the tapes that are apparently circulating in the market. As per the sources who confided in the Post, the mystery male A-lister on the alleged tape is horrified to learn that the compromising footage is being shopped around to media outlets. Talking about the tape in question, Deal wondered if the unidentified celebrity was black or white. If he's black, then the former bodyguard is almost convinced that it's either Smith or Nick Cannon. If I'm looking at any black guys that are A-listers that's bigger than Diddy is, only one that I could come up with, or there's a few I could come up with, Will Smith. He's bigger than Diddy. I would think Nick Cannon is bigger than Diddy. He then mentioned that rat pack that Diddy hung out with and stated that the man could be Kushner or Leonardo too, referring to Ashton Kutcher and Leonardo DiCaprio. Yikes. Now we all know Will and Diddy have been linked since the late 1990s, frequently attending events together and maintaining a long-standing friendship in the entertainment industry. Both released their debut singles around the same time, P. Diddy in 1996 and Will Smith in 1997, and have been spotted at events. In 2004, Will attended one of P. Diddy's notorious Miami parties, and there is proof of it too. Now, did he attend a freak-off there? It seems like we might not ever know. That's not all, as a 2023 interview on Jimmy Kimmel Live also resurfaced, where Diddy denied rumors involving Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, and Jennifer Lopez. When asked about the rumor that Will and Jada had tried to initiate a threesome with Lopez, Diddy called the story crazy and stated, "I don't know what you're talking about." Diddy even supported Will after the infamous Oscar slap. You see, the 2022 Oscars were a night to remember for many reasons, but the main reason was Will slapped Chris Rock on live television. The incident happened due to Chris being on stage presenting an award. He made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith and her hair, which Will did not like because Jada has been open about struggling with alopecia. After the joke, Will got out of his seat and got on stage and slapped Chris Rock. He went back to his seat and continued to yell, "Keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth." Viewers and audience members were confused as to whether this was a sketch or real. As the night went on, it was clear that it was very real. Due to this, Will was banned from the Oscars for 10 years, and it's unclear if Will's projects will get released, or if he will ever be cast again. He then put out a lengthy apology, partly stating, "Violence in all its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior at last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line, and I was wrong. I'm embarrassed, and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. I would also like to apologize to the Academy, the producers of the show, and all the attendees and everyone watching around the world."
Why didn't you apologize to Chris in your acceptance speech? I was fogged out by that point. It's all fuzzy. I've reached out to, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk, and when he is, he will reach out.
A lot of celebrities called Will out online, and it seemed like some of his projects wouldn't be moving forward. Someone who had Will's back though was Diddy. While introducing a segment for The Godfather's 50th anniversary, he lightheartedly stated, "Will and Chris were going to solve that like family at the gold party. But right now, we're moving on with love," according to multiple reports. Then there's all the reports about his and Jada Pinkett Smith's relationship. Jada says that she got to know another side of the actor and comedian Chris Rock while the pair filmed and promoted the 2005 animated movie Madagascar together. "I found him to be quirky, with an unexpected sweetness, and very intelligent, with a biting wit that's impressive if you are on the right side of it," she writes of Rock. She said she would later feel the burn of being on the wrong side when Rock targeted her during his 2016 Oscars monologue, a year that she and Smith publicly sat out the awards ceremony over the lack of nominations for industry members of color. "Why me, when there were so many others who he had been even more vocal of," she writes. The dig was even more baffling to Jada, given that she says Rock once asked her out. "At one point, during rumors that Will and I had divorced, Chris even called to ask me out on a date. Once he found out I wasn't divorced, we laughed and he apologized profusely, and life went on." In 2021, ahead of his memoir release, Will Smith admitted that he and Jada had an open relationship. They made headlines after the couple addressed rumors of infidelity during their marriage on Jada's candid talk show, Red Table Talk. Now, in an interview with GQ, Will has addressed the discussion and offered further insight into the period of non-monogamy in his and Jada's marriage. Will confirmed to the interviewer that both he and Jada have, with mutual agreement, engaged in sexual relationships outside of their marriage. The author noted that those who watched the Red Table Talk might have believed that Jada was the only one engaging in other sexual relationships, before adding that Will had delicately explained that this was not the case. While Will did not elaborate on his sexual experiences outside of the marriage, he did admit that he felt guilt over considering infidelity in the early phase of their relationship due to his Christian upbringing. He added that Jada never believed in conventional marriage. Jada had family members that had an unconventional relationship, Will revealed. "So she grew up in a way that was very different than how I grew up." But later on, Will denied giving August Alsina permission to date Jada during this time. August Alsina spoke about a relationship he had with Jada for the first time during an interview in 2020. He said, "I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life, and I truly and really deeply love and have a ton of love for her." He went on to claim that Will Smith knew about the relationship and gave August and Jada his blessing. First, the couple issued a quick statement denying the relationship, but Jada announced on her Twitter that she was taking herself to the Red Table. In July 2020, the Smiths sat down at the Red Table and discussed their relationship. They spoke about a dark period in their marriage, when they thought they were going to separate and never speak again. That's when Jada and August began their relationship, or what she originally called an entanglement. Will denied giving August permission, but did know that the two were seeing each other.
"It's a situation that I consider private.
You just feel like it ain't really nobody's business. But now Black Twitter has claimed it as their business."
However, their relationship came to an end once she and Will decided to try and work things out, which they did. So as you can see, Will has had a pretty crazy career and has been connected to many different celebs.
We were warned that big name celebrities were going to be called out over the course of Diddy's trial, and it seems that started with Jay-Z being named in a suit. It was originally filed back in November, but at the time it was just Sean Combs, aka Diddy, that was named. The others were simply referred to as Celebrity A and B. The woman that has filed the suit has requested that she remain anonymous, so she is known as Jane Doe during the proceedings. The lawsuit alleged that Diddy and an unnamed additional male celebrity harmed Jane Doe inappropriately, while another, also unnamed, female celebrity watched. The plaintiff's story in the lawsuit was she attempted to sneak into Radio City Music Hall in 2000 for the MTV VMAs, but when she was unsuccessful, she ran into Diddy's driver. The driver told her to come back after the show, and when she did, he drove her to a large white house with a gated U-shaped driveway. The plaintiff further claims that upon entering the home, she was presented with a non-disclosure agreement and asked to sign. Once inside, she claims there was widespread use of substances, and when handed a beverage, they were in there too. In a bid to find somewhere safe to rest, the plaintiff claims she entered an empty bedroom, and it wasn't long after she entered that the trio of celebrities allegedly followed. It was then that the multiple transgressions happened, ultimately halting when the plaintiff struck Diddy in the neck. She was able to eventually escape the house and return home, but the night left its mark. As reported by the Daily Mail, the lawsuit claims that the plaintiff fell into a deep depression which continues to affect every facet of her life. Diddy continues to assert his innocence. The Daily Mail obtained photos from this night that included music artist Jay-Z, who is now officially named in this suit. I recently covered this lawsuit in another video back in November. Leaked Diddy party photos of Jennifer Lopez will change everything. At the time, the lawsuit only named Sean Diddy Combs. The other parties were simply unnamed celebrities. That has obviously changed. Jay-Z's name has been revealed. However, we still don't know who the female celebrity was. There are 1,001 theories, of course, because that's what the internet does, but we still don't know for sure. So to clarify, just because I mentioned J-Lo a second ago, she was not named in the suit. That is the focus of this video. However, with the knowledge that we are still missing one piece of the puzzle, and that originally Jay-Z was unnamed, it begs a couple of big questions. Why did she only name Diddy originally and wait to release Jay-Z's name, and why hasn't the female celebrity's name been released either? Only Jane Doe and her legal team know for sure. However, Jay-Z has given us some clues on his end. He claims that before his name was added to the mix, his lawyer received a letter about the suit. Allegedly, the letter was intended to blackmail him. It was described as a pre-litigation demand letter. The rapper claimed that he was asked for money, but Jane Doe's legal representation, Tony Busby, claimed that she asked for mediation and never sought financial gain. Busby did respond to Jay-Z's claims in an amended complaint. This time, he accused Jay-Z of conspiracy of harassment, bullying, intimidation against plaintiffs' lawyers, their families, employees, and former associates in an attempt to silence plaintiff from naming Jay-Z. So from all that, it's looking like Jay-Z's name was initially kept in the dark because they were trying to work things out behind closed doors, but everything went sour, and that's why it's all in the open now. Other than the female celebrity's name, of course. There is a possibility we'll never know who it was. In the event that the same stages were taken with celebrity B as they were with celebrity A, there is a chance everything was settled behind closed doors, and we will forever be left to wonder. The suit did say that the female celebrity didn't actually do anything to the plaintiff, she just watched, but that's also not great. The original lawsuit was filed back in October. It's unclear if Jane Doe's legal team also would have sent a letter to Combs' lawyer in advance like how they did to Jay-Z's, or if they simply would have just filed the suit, considering there were already so many against Diddy already. Jay-Z is adamantly denying pretty much everything the suit is accusing him of. He has shared that the allegations are causing strain in his personal and family life, as his daughter, Blue Ivy, is old enough to likely hear this information, and she's almost the age the woman in the suit was when the incident happened. Jay-Z is now calling for a name to be revealed, and it's Jane Doe's. She has wanted to remain anonymous since the filing of the suit. However, Jay-Z wants to know who is accusing him. Jay-Z claims that the accuser should not be allowed to tarnish his name while hiding her identity. His attorney called the whole situation a shakedown and said that if Jane Doe isn't revealed, it would deny Mr. Carter the fundamental right to confront his accuser while simultaneously enabling plaintiff and her counsel to conduct a trial by media. In a Monday filing, Jay-Z and his legal team have called for a judge to order that Jane Doe either reveal herself or the lawsuit gets dropped. However, Jane Doe likely has a good reason to keep her name under wraps. Tony Busby spoke on behalf of her and the over 200 clients with claims against Diddy that his firm represents, and explained why it's so important for them to be anonymous. He claimed that about 80% of those that he is representing during this Diddy case have told the firm that Diddy has warned them to keep quiet or something bad would happen to them and or their loved ones. Who knows if he meant it, but better safe than sorry. Keeping your name out of the headlines also ensures that you don't get hounded by the press day in and day out. Famous and rich rapper Jay-Z can afford security. We don't know what Jane Doe's lifestyle looks like or if it would be safe for her in that sense. Busby spoke to a federal judge Sunday, during which he stressed the importance of his client remaining anonymous for protection's sake. Jay-Z did release a statement in which he accused Jane Doe's representation, Busby, of exploiting people for personal gain. He called the claims against against him idiotic, and if there weren't young people involved, laughable. But somehow, this all gets even more dramatic. Busby shared that he actually expected Jay-Z to attempt to unmask Jane Doe and would be filing a response when the time was right, which will probably be soon. But he also dropped another bombshell claim just to shake things up. Apparently, Busby was sued in November by an unnamed celebrity. We know it was a man because they sued under the name John Doe. Since the first filing with Diddy's name happened in October, the timeline would line up for Busby to have enough time to contact Jay-Z's lawyer and then for them to sue in response. Of course, this is all alleged as Busby doesn't even know who it was, so I certainly won't pretend to know for sure either. Busby did relate this case to the one making the headlines now, saying, "He sued me under a pseudonym but files a motion to reveal the victim." Despite the high-profile nature of this case, Jay-Z is still out making public appearances. He was spotted on a red carpet shortly after the news broke of the incident from the early 2000s. The red carpet in question was Disney's Mufasa. The live-action prequel to The Lion King stars Beyonce and their daughter Blue Ivy, so that is why he was there. There to support his family. It is his daughter's big day. However, considering the circumstances, many people have shared online that they think he should not have gone, or at least stayed off the red carpet. That maybe he should have sat this one out. One ex-user said that the rapper had nerve showing up like that, another agreeing with the response, "No shame." Another popular rapper is even lending his keyboard to the drama. 50 Cent has been closely following the Diddy allegations and case and commenting at every chance he gets. Having Jay-Z roped into it all now, it was only a matter of time before a post hit Instagram. The post has since been deleted, but of course, there are screenshots. He posted a picture of the family on the red carpet with a caption directly referencing the allegations against Jay-Z. It basically said, "Oh, I got accused of this really awful thing, time to go to the movies." That's like a very PG translation of the actual caption. Truly, it seems the public loves 50 Cent for keeping it real and never shying away from throwing in his 2 cents, or should I say 50, a bad joke for me, but he does have a lot to say at all times. One ex-user even said that at this point, 50 Cent is the only trustworthy news source. He's even helping create a Netflix documentary about this whole situation. Not much is known past the fact that Netflix will stream it. We know it will be primarily about Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex-girlfriend and one of the first and most public of the suits against the disgraced rapper. The doc will be an episodic series, and all proceeds will go towards victims of inappropriate violence. When 50 Cent confirmed the bidding war was won by Netflix in a since-deleted Instagram post, he also claimed that if more victims keep coming out, he's gonna need more episodes, so there is potential that the doc will end up covering way more than it originally bargained for, especially since Diddy's trial hasn't even happened yet. It's set for a May 2025 start.
Demi Moore is up first. Hollywood loves a comeback story, and Demi has made her biggest comeback yet. Now, plastic surgeons have revealed the secrets of the celebrities who've, had the biggest glow-ups in recent years, and after being mocked over plastic surgery rumors in January 2021, Demi Moore, who's 62, was widely praised for her age-defying and wrinkle-free look at the Golden Globes this month, where she won Best Actress in a Motion Picture. Demi took home the first acting award of her career in January 2025, winning the Golden Globe for Best Actress in a Musical or Comedy for her role in the horror film The Substance. Now, she played a former A-list star who took a black market substance to regain her youthful looks, only to discover horrifying side effects. The star revealed how she could relate to the character because of her own body image issues. She said in an interview, I placed a lot of value on what my body looked like as being, a defining marker of whether I belonged or not, whether I could succeed or not. Demi Moore, has publicly admitted to a few cosmetic procedures. However, there's no way to know for sure what she has done, but based on her results, here's what procedures she may have recently had, according to a plastic surgeon named Dr. Ewan. So facelifts and neck lifts, which are two relatively invasive treatments that deliver long-lasting results. Both procedures help, tighten the skin, eliminate wrinkles, and remove unwanted fat in stubborn areas. While Demi Moore has not publicly admitted to getting either procedure, there are some signs of total facial rejuvenation. Her appearance is more youthful, defined, and contoured, so her skin also looks tighter, and she has no, noticeable fine lines or deep wrinkles. A blepharoplasty removes sagging skin above the eyelids and under eye bags. The procedure provides, permanent, long-lasting results and eliminates aging or sagging eyelids. After the procedure, patients look more awake and well-rested. Demi Moore's eye area appears to be smoother and more contoured than years before. Not only does she not have, under eye bags, dark circles, or wrinkles in that area, but she also looks more awake. These adjustments to her appearance suggest she's recently had that procedure done. These cosmetic procedures help, lessen the appearance of forehead wrinkles and frown lines as well, helping individuals achieve just a smoother, crease-free appearance. Demi Moore already has a very naturally well-defined, bone structure. A brow or forehead lift could have helped enhance her natural features, making her cheekbones more prominent. Her eyebrows also seem slightly raised, helping her achieve a more awake-looking appearance. Facial contouring using fillers and fat grafting can also help achieve a more sculpted appearance. Demi Moore may use, fillers and fat grafting to achieve high, well-defined cheekbones. Her appearance is notably more balanced, and just in previous years. She also seems to have contouring around her cheeks, jawline, and nose. Botox as well is presumed. Demi Moore, possibly uses Botox to maintain a youthful appearance and prevent new wrinkles from actually forming.